One, two, three. This is Dr. Alex Avila with Love University, and we're back. I'm an author, psychologist, and speaker. And every week we talk about how to love ourselves, others, and a higher nature. We have topics on how to improve your life and your relationships, your self-esteem, your finances, career, personal health, and happiness. And today's topic is really something that I find very, very useful. And it is the idea of how to laugh your way to success, how to use humor to improve your life. Now, humor is defined as a psychological response that is triggered by something that we consider amusing and a tendency to laugh. Children, on the average, laugh at least 400 times a day, but by the time we get to be adults, we only laugh about 50 times a day. Many times we're burdened and worn down by our regrets, our anxieties, worries, paying bills, and dealing with conflicts. So we start to lose that natural spontaneity, that enthusiasm, that joyful zest for life that makes us want to laugh and enjoy humor. Now, we know research shows that there's a lot of advantages to having humor, a lot of benefits to being a person that finds humor in life. First of all, we're more attractive to other people. We attract others into our life because people want to be around someone who has a good sense of humor, someone who is funny, someone who can make them laugh. We can mentally disarm people that are suspicious or mistrustful by having a sense of humor. Also, the idea of mood contagion, the idea that people often get involved in situations where they become the other people. For example, you walk into a room of happy, laughing people, you will start to feel the same way. Or if you go to a place where there are people that are sour and negative and bitter, you might start to feel that way. So when you start laughing, other people laugh with you, and it becomes a positive contagion. Also, in the workplace, research shows that people that have a sense of humor often are more trusted, have better work performance, have better work relationships. 79% of CEOs believe that a person with a sense of humor is someone that's good to hire because they're going to be more team players and work well in a team. Also, it can improve your dating life. 69% of online daters believe that a sense of humor is very important. It shows a sense of resourcefulness, a sense of kindness. Also, we learn better when we have a sense of humor. There are a higher number of mental connections. We're more creative. We put things together in different ways. Interestingly enough, our physical health also improves when we have a good sense of humor, when we laugh more. We reduce the hormone that deals with fear, cortisol. We release more endorphins, pleasure chemicals. We reduce our blood pressure. We increase our immune system. And even research shows that you live longer. There's more longevity among people that have a good sense of humor, that laugh a lot. Also, it improves your mental health. Being able to laugh is a great mood enhancer. It helps you feel more confident, more optimistic in life. And also it changes what's called your pastime perspective. Sometimes when something happens to you in life, maybe it's a bad situation or bad event, you might feel regret or even sadness about it. But people with a sense of humor can look back and even laugh at the problem they had before once they have better perspective on it. So things like even tragedies, horrible things can be lightened with a sense of humor. They also look at students or younger people, and they find that they actually improve a lot when they have a good sense of humor in terms of their school performance, their social competence, ability to deal with others. And also they have lower rates of delinquency, drug abuse when they have a good sense of humor. They can laugh at problems and don't take things so seriously, because many times teenagers do that. They think that they're the only one in the world that's suffering through this problem when there are many people that have the same issue. And if they can laugh at it, they will have a different perspective and feel better about it. Now, what are the characteristics of a humorous person? You might be thinking, well, am I a funny person? Do I exude humor? First of all, they have a self-acceptance. Maybe there's something about themselves that could be considered bad. Maybe their nose is too big or something about their physical appearance or something in their life, but they can make fun of that. They can accept themselves as they are and realize, I can laugh at this and make other people laugh too. They're often creative. They look for the twist in terms of a story or joke they tell. And they're often very optimistic. They can turn negatives into positives. They can see the bright light of things. Now, we did a podcast recently on optimism, the power of that, and looking at the bright side of things and turning the negative into the positive. This is a great characteristic of humor. We can laugh at things that other people find very difficult or even bad. So you might be thinking, well, that sounds great. Being funny, humorous, I can see the advantages and benefits, but I'm not really a funny person. I'm very serious and I'm very intense. I can't really become funny, can I? In some ways you can, actually. It's possible to train yourself to have a better sense of humor, to actually use it to help you develop better relationships and to be more persuasive and do better in many ways. So let's talk about some of those ways that you can actually improve your sense of humor, your ability to be funny. First of all, it's important when you tell a story or joke to use details that are very vivid. You might say, there's a man that walked in with a purple tie into a bar and he saw a chihuahua who was red-faced. He asked the chihuahua, why are you so red-faced? The chihuahua said, I've had too much to drink. And the man says, I guess I'm drinking too much too. The other thing that helps you become more funny is to look at bad news from a time perspective and take a negative and turn it into a positive. So for example, people that are single, maybe they can't find the right soulmate. They might say to themselves, well, what's the difference between me and a new calendar? A new calendar has quality dates. And what happens is that you actually make things that are uncomfortable comfortable. And that's one of the keys to humor, is that we all share a human experience. We're frustrated, we're angry at certain things, traffic jams, customer service, other people bug us, but we can make that into something funny that can help relieve the tension and give us a different way to look at things. Another way to increase humor is to practice what are called callbacks. So if someone's mentioned something and then you later on in a conversation say it again or maybe repeat it in a different way. Someone says, I hate fish. And at the end of the conversation, you say, well, I hate fish too. I'm never going to go to SeaWorld now. Another thing you can do is to practice yes and. Now, we've mentioned this before. This is an exercise that we use in improvisational acting and comedy. Is where you actually add onto someone's statement and you make it kind of exaggerated so it becomes kind of a funny thing. So I'm going to bring in Reggie, my producer, and this is one of our favorite exercises, Reggie. So we always, you said, oh boy. What did you say, oh boy, Reggie?
I'm like, oh boy, yeah, oh boy, it is.
I think you said, oh boy, I'm in trouble. Yeah. I got to be spontaneous. So Reggie, you're wearing that red shirt today. So why do you wear a red shirt?
I wear it because it seemed like a good day for a red shirt.
Not only is it red, it's like your ultra red. It looks like it's turning X-ray red.
X-ray red.
Why is that, Reggie?
I don't know. I'm just feeling very, very hot today, I might say.
We are good looking. But I didn't know you're that hot. You know, that you're getting really hot today.
Okay. I should hope so.
There you go. So yeah, we're kind of a little bit of a silly thing. You know, we're being silly and exaggerating things, but that's a good way to do it, is to say yes and. Because many times people in life say no but. They say, I don't believe that, I don't want to do that, and they become pessimistic, and they cut off that spontaneous flow of energy, that funny, humorous way of looking at life. The other thing that can help you in developing humor is to cultivate the element of surprise, because a lot of what is funny is surprising. We think of it's going one way, and then it switches to the other way. So a man says to a woman, darling, would you like to be the sun in my life? And she says, yes, of course, my dear. Now stay 92.96 million miles away from me. Another thing you can do is act a little dumb. Maybe you're in a restaurant or a place and you might ask or say something that is a little bit uncommon in a sense of humor. For example, you'll say, walk into a restaurant, you'll say maybe to a waitress, it's raining in here. Do you like to rain? And they'll say, it's not raining in here. Yes, it's raining positivity and loving energy. I can sense it. So things like that can kind of twist people in a different way. So they start to think, wow, this is kind of a different way to look at it. It can be a little bit funny. And oftentimes things are funny because it helps us deal with negative feelings or frustrations, anxieties, and even angers. Many of our observational comedy is based on things that bug us, things about lines, things about customer service. So you might say something like, I call a customer service line and they told me this. Thank you for holding. This call may be monitored for quality purposes. Of course, if we really cared about quality, we'd have another person answer the phone. Those common annoyances and inconveniences, even frustrations, are things that many of us can identify with. And when we laugh about it, it lightens the load in life. We eliminate our stress and we share something with other people that's positive. So how do we become funnier? How do we tap into our humor bone? It is possible to practice being funny. This is something that you can develop. It's something that you can grow. For example, the first step is to realize that you actually can be a humorous person. Be confident that you can develop your ability, whether it's learning jokes or stories and talking to people in a humorous way, and you can actually become a more funny person and attract positive things in your life. Number two is look out and find humor that you like. Maybe you can look at comedy shows, TV shows, movies, maybe even go to stand-up comics, study them on YouTube, and ask yourself, why do I like this kind of comedy, this humor? Is it slapstick? Is it based on metaphors, wordplay? Is it a little bit sarcastic? And maybe you can develop some of your own humor that matches what you really like. Another tip is to find a humor buddy, someone that finds you funny and you find them funny, and you can crack jokes off each other and with each other, and that can develop your sense of humor more. Also, be around humorous people. Funny people can be contagious. You start to catch their infectious laugh, the way they look at life, and also start to find the funny everywhere. This is a very important thing. In stressful situations, people often worry a lot and feel pressure, but you can actually lighten that. Let's say you live in a place where there's a lot of traffic. And we're out here in Los Angeles where there's constant traffic on all the freeways. People get very frustrated and honk their horns and even curse. But you can say to yourself, well, what's the best way to beat holiday traffic? Stay home and do nothing. So you don't have to go anywhere. Now, of course, it's important to be serious at times. Some things in life are serious, a deadly disease, accidents, tragedies. But at the same time, it's important to look at the light side of things. And when you're laughing and happy, jokes come out naturally. You become more humorous. Stories come out naturally. And one good way is to actually laugh. Laugh even if nothing's funny. So right now, Reggie, let's do a little laughing right now. Look at that crazy bird over there. It's purple. If you believe that, you're really crazy. So even by laughing, you start to feel better. Don't you feel a little better now, Reggie? A little lighter?
I do.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter what's going on in your life. You're under some pressure. You start to laugh, and it actually releases endorphins in your brain. You start to feel more positive and more joyful. And at the same time, it's good to realize you can be a laughing, happy person. You know, when you are happy and laughing for whatever happens in life, you will naturally have that humorous mindset. And also playing with animals and children is very important because animals and children are very funny. A dog can get their head stuck in something, or a child can run around and do something funny, say something funny. And that can really trigger your own spontaneity, with your own naturalness that you may have lost because as adults, I mentioned, we do tend to lose our natural spontaneity. We get worried about different things in life. So we'd like to tap back into that. Also, you can, on Twitter is a very easy way to write little jokes, little sayings that can be kind of humorous. And that's a way to exercise some of your wit through things like Twitter. Also, put yourself on humor patrol. Wherever you go out, ask yourself, what can I find that's humorous here? Or what can I say to someone? Maybe it's in an elevator, a party, a social situation. If you do public speaking, try to put humor into your speeches, into your presentations, into your talks. When you meet people, try to find the things that are unusual or can be funny. The more you practice, the better you become at it. At the same time, you want to know your audience. You want to know what they like and don't like. You don't want to be offensive or hurting anyone's feelings, so you want to find out. One joke can be great for one person, but maybe the other person will take it a different way. So be aware of that. But on the other hand, don't be so sensitive that you stop using humor. If you bomb, that means nobody laughs at you. Don't give up. Realize that you can have other times, other people, other jokes, other stories that will make people laugh. And the key is to spread that loving energy in the form of laughter. And realize that not everyone will respond to you the same way. Some people will love it, some people won't. But you will keep sharpening, honing your tools, your laughter tools, so you can become better at it. So practice telling jokes and stories. Write them down on your smartphone or iPad. When you come across something on the internet or something funny, something that happens in your personal life. Many times your personal stories are the funniest. Once you've had a little perspective, maybe it was painful at the time, you suffered in some way, but you learn something from it and it becomes humorous. It can become a way to enlighten people as well. Now, Reggie, do you have any jokes for us today?
I used to worry that my wife was taking advantage of me, but her boyfriend convinced me otherwise.
Well, Reggie, you don't have a wife or a boyfriend, but that's really funny. Okay, so whatever comes to mind, here's the key, Reggie, about being funny, and also our listeners, is to be yourself. Don't worry that you'll say something actually dumb or that people won't even laugh, but just say whatever comes to your mind as you start to develop this humorous side of you. So use reversal. Say things that people don't normally say or think. Again, be tasteful and be cognizant of people's reactions to a certain extent. But also, humor can be sometimes aggressive. Sometimes it can be loving. It can be self-deprecating. But the key is, when it comes to humor, is to be optimistic. And this is why I like humor so much, is that it really helps you look at the bright side of life. They say if you're laughing, you're not crying. It's impossible to have those two emotions at the same time. Many times people lament their life and they pity themselves. My life is not going well. Look at other people doing better. But when you use humor, you realize we're all one. We all have commonalities. We all smell bad at times. We all say the wrong things. We all get into bad relationships and make mistakes. But, we all can take joy that we're alive, that we can bring joy to ourselves and others. And really, laughter is about bringing joy. So the more you laugh in a positive way and you do it to help yourself and others feel more enlightened, you will enjoy more life. You will have a happier and joyful time. So my challenge to you, Love University listeners, is to go out there this week and have a laughter crusade. See how many times you can laugh on your own and with others, that you can find humor in everyday situations, even difficult situations. You can tell stories or jokes and laugh with other people. Now, you might say, I'm shy, but even if you're shy and have self-consciousness, the more you laugh, sometimes at yourself, the less self-conscious you will be. You will realize you can become more of the actor, that part of you that's natural and spontaneous, that's like a child, even an animal, that just goes and romps in the world and does stuff that is just joyful and funny and pleasurable. So again, if you have any humor, you'd like to send us any jokes or stories, or even if you're a striving comedian or humorist, we'd love to have you on the show as a guest. You can write to us at lovetype4u@aol.com. That's LOVETYPE, the number 4, letter U at AOL.com. Visit us at loveuniversity.love. Call us at 310-226-8090. So again, Dr. Alex Avila, make the world a happy place, a loving place, and a place of laughter. Until next time, put away your notepads, iPads, phones, books, and joke stories. And we'll see you next time, Dr. Avila, Love University.